Hi everybody. This is Mark. Callie's over here. We're going to be doing a video about philosophy. The primarily lesson 3 is about sounding out your own philosophy. The one thing that you'll realize going through these lessons is they have a particular design intuitively so that you can get the most out of it. What is your philosophy? A lot of people say, well, I don't know. I don't know why I do what I do. I don't know why I think what I think. I don't know why I believe how I believe. They basically have no philosophy. Well, we'll get into this later. That's a nihilist. Okay? An individual that lives according to that way is a nihilist. Has no direction. We're talking about love is the law, love under will. In other words, the will is directed by love. Okay? So, what is your philosophy? Well, I had to ask myself, sound it out, and there were particular questions that in the beginning I tried to answer with my philosophy. Now, my philosophy is choice plus self-interest equals what matters to me. It's really simple and to the point, like that. Okay, my choices are always a yes and a no, and my goal is set according to what I'm aiming for. Okay, the goal doesn't have to be 100. It doesn't have to always be that. It can change. Is what I'm saying. It's based on what matters to me, what matters to myself, staying true to myself. Okay, so the philosophy that I live according to is holistic. That choice takes into account everybody that's going to be affected. So I always take that into consideration when I'm setting a goal, And that's it for me. And that's the aphorism. I keep it really simple. Okay? No complexity in that whatsoever. It's been sounded out in 555. And I've been using it ever since. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to sit down and ask yourself, what is the philosophy? What's the current philosophy you are living according to? Now, it doesn't have to be right or wrong. Don't argue with yourself. Just write it down. When you ask that question and you get that answer from yourself, write the answer down. Don't question yourself. That's not why we're doing this. I want you to see what it is that you've been living according to. Sometimes by doing this, we can acknowledge that these things need to be revised. We forget, everything changes, and sometimes things really need to be taken into context and be revised. Be revised. Okay? So don't be afraid to question what it is that yourself tells you, but keep it there and write down in the lesson what it is that you discovered. This is about self-discovery. This philosophy is vital, but you're going to find later on as we get into more information about nihilism and specifically, how existence is and existentialism, you're gonna see how it all comes together. And whatever it is that you're living according to right now is going to get naturally challenged anyways. There's going to be an evaluation, a reevaluation of your values. And that's fine. And that's what we're working towards in the third lesson. Okay? So do the questions that are connected with the third lesson, and it's very simple. It's self-explanatory. Answer those questions in the lesson, and you'll realize kind of a structure of what's going on. even if it is chaos, even if you still not sure, 100% self-aware of what it is that you've been living according to. The main point is just to record it, to be able to record it, to be able to acknowledge what it is. Okay, and that is so vital and so important. Now, what the school is talking about is like a trinity. This theory, then there's practice, then there's the philosophy that comes from it, the synthesis of it. Okay, so taking the theory, the thought process, and the practice, this is vital, this is very important. In my own life, the theory and the practice are incorporated within the caste that I live according to, okay? And the theory itself is based on how that philosophy I live according to goes in line and is aligned to the caste that I live according to. And we'll get into that later on. But right now, it's just important to sound out what is it that you believe. What, and you'll be able to look at it. Okay? And that's a big step, that in this process, that's the third step. So you're making progress if you're watching this video. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. I want you to sound out your philosophy, ask yourself what it is that you live according to. Once you get that, write it down. Don't change it. I want to know what it is. Okay? That's it. That's the lesson in and of itself. Think for yourself. I don't want you to copy other people. I don't want you to go look for the best philosophy. I just want you to have realization of what it is that you've been living according to. Then you can question, is this my way? Did I choose this, or was this acquired from some other place? That's the reevaluation. Do I value these things? Do I hold what I believe to be very important? That's the question. Okay? And if I don't value those things, why am I trying to live according to this philosophy that I don't have an awareness of, and I don't really value this thing? It's acquired or whatever. Get rid of it. You know what I mean? Just get rid of it. And, you'll come to the question of substitution, of habits, Well, if I do this, how is this going to be affected in my life, Well, what I would suggest is that you get your rational nature in line. And how you do that is your ABCs, man. You have an activating event, you have a belief, and you have the consequences of those beliefs. And you can dispute those. That's the D within the equation. You can dispute those. And E is eliminate, or evaluate. You can eliminate or evaluate how this belief now makes you feel and how it'll make you behave ultimately. So it's important to look at these things in line with the questions that we're asking. Your belief is very important. William James said that your belief is your actual will. You have a will to believe. That's where your will comes from, your belief. So love directs that belief. Do you really feel that way? Do you really care about that? Do you really hold it in esteem? Do you value that? Or is that just baggage that you're carrying around that's, slowing you down? Let it go. Get rid of it. This is alchemy. We're going to talk about alchemy. Okay? 7 stages of alchemy. And how Deepak Chopra expresses it. I love how he expresses it. We're going to get into that. that pertains to how we behave, why we do the things that we do. What level are we on? Who's on what level? What are these levels? How do I acknowledge even what they are? Well, first, let's take baby steps. Ask yourself what you believe, and then write it down. That's it. That's what I have to say. You have anything else to say, babe?
No.
Okay. That's it. 666. Blessed be. See you in video 4.